Welcome to Love the Life You've Been Given. As always, viewer discretion is advised. This video will contain explicit content. This live video is a non-profit organization for HIV and AIDS awareness, post-diagnosis peer counseling, suicide prevention, mental health awareness, and self-love. Go to our website, our social medias. They're all Love the Life You've Been Given on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. We will always have an open discussion for questions and concerns at the end of the show. Please email us. Go to our email address at lovethelifeyou'vebeengiven.org. info@lovethelifeyou'vebeengiven.org. And you can also go on our website, which is lovethelifeyou'vebeengiven.org. Or you can comment on this video and we can answer some questions if you have any. Please understand that this show is raw and uncut, and these are real life experiences and testimonies. So guys, this is part 2 of our dating series. I titled this one to be the past lovers' experiences. I have a few people that agreed to write in about their experience with dating me after I was diagnosed with HIV. But before we get started, guys, I missed you. It's been, I went on vacation. Hey, I've been on vacation and stuff. So I missed you guys last week. I hope you guys missed me too. I see you guys coming in. Hey, Candace. Hey, Tamara. Hey, cousin. All right, Brian, I see you. So my family reunion was this past weekend, so that's where I was. That happened, and it was fun. Me and my sister went, of course. And if you had a great time. You definitely had a great time, but I definitely missed you guys. How have you guys been?
Really great. Been maintaining.
Nothing exciting?
Nah, just work. Super long work week. It was a rough work week last week, but
tell me about it. I had a rough week too. But guys, I did want to talk about something that me and my sister actually found out while we were out of town. If you've been to my website or watched the very first video of Love the Life You've Been Given, this organization is dedicated to my uncle, Ronnie Collins. And he passed away in 1996 from AIDS. Well, from complications with AIDS, let me say that. He had pneumonia and he had complications with his AIDS and passed away. This past weekend, someone reached out to me. They saw my video about this organization and reached out to me and told me about a group that they had for my uncle where people that knew him are just showing so much gratitude to him. And this group had
180 people?
Yeah, 180 people. Almost 200 people in the group. And he's been gone since 1996. And people just go on there and share their stories and say how much they miss them. Yeah, pictures, and it's just, me and my sister were in tears, the page reading stuff, because we were young.
Overwhelming, because he died when we were young, so to see the impact we had on people's lives was great. It was awesome. It was really good, because I was about 5-ish, and she was about 7. So, we had little memories of him, but to see how much he impacted these people. And it's almost 30 years later and people are still commenting and sharing their stories. They still miss him.
Think about it every day. Yeah. It was just, I'm a baby, I was crying. You know how to be a lot for Nicole to cry. Yeah. Nicole cried. Right. It's so amazing, and I actually been talking to people. They've been reaching out because they've been actually trying to reach out to our family, but my grandmother passed away, so they reached out. They found me and reached out to me to ask for the family's permission to do a documentary about him.
Wow.
Yeah, they want to do a documentary about his life. Just a little background on how he contracted AIDS. He got addicted to heroin. Okay. So needle sharing, and that was, we don't know exactly when he contracted the virus, but he ended up being hospitalized and everything, but he contracted through a needle. But he spent a lot of time on the streets. Yeah. So, and if you look on the page, people were talking about how he was in DuPont Circle a lot, and that's where people hung out. They did drugs, and even if they were just on the streets, just to be on the streets, how he was, and he was a protector for a lot of these people. Like most of the people on there, like, were talking about how he protected them in some way. Like, I know one girl said she had a stalker, and he would walk her home from work every single day, go to her house, sleep on her couch, and get up and work out. He would work out, do some push-ups, and then leave. Wow. Like, just to be, you know, support. And, you know, he had a very, very rough life, and just to see how many people, you know, he, you know, impacted was awesome. Like, he was also very, very smart. Like, he was good at math. So, like, some guy actually told a story about how he got like a math book, and he told one of his friends, he's like, look this here. So he went to the math book. You know, they used to have the answers in the back, and they would sit there and read off equations to Ronnie. He would get up like that, and just right off the back. So, like, that's like super dope. And I knew he liked math, but I didn't know those stories, and it just felt so good to you know, hear it
and to get an idea of him as a person, because we were young when he died, so we only knew of Uncle Ronnie, you know what I'm saying? We didn't get to experience.
We knew he was
him
fast.
We
used to chase him around. We would mess with him, and he would like take off and chase us and catch us. Oh God, every single time.
But it was super dope to see him as a person. Like, we've heard stories from like our other uncle, our mother, whatever, but to hear other people that I've never even heard of before, all of that. It was just great, and there was like no bad story on there. Like, everything was just great things. Like, he was just an amazing person, and it's gone too soon.
Definitely
wish we would have had more time with him.
Yeah, we talked about him way home a lot. Like, if we would have had more time with him, like how he would be now. You know,
you gotta help me with my math homework.
You know, right? Can explain some stuff to us. You know, I mean, it was definitely great. So definitely stay tuned for like any information I'll post about that. If I do, I'm still in the process of talking with the creator of that page about the documentary. So if we get started on that, you know, I'll definitely let you guys know so you guys can watch the. I mean, I'm sure it'll be a great documentary of just, you know, like I said, he had a heroin addiction, and just how little things can affect your whole life. Like, it's very important to, you know, try to make the best decisions you can, you know, because you never know. But like I told y'all before, I honestly think that, you know, it was my destiny to have HIV. Like, I was 5 years old when he died, and me and him were really, really close. And for me to be that young and have that much of a connection to him, I mean, and when I got HIV, I said, oh, it's my destiny. Wait a minute, like, because I was so close to him. Yeah. But then that also put all that fear into me as, you know, growing up, like, I don't want to get that because this is what he died from. I know this is what he died from. I don't want to get it. But I was also very ignorant too.
Never really read up on it to see.
It's like, I know it's what it did. I know what you died from it, but it was still an ignorance there. Yeah. So that was dope, guys. But we can get into the past lovers' experiences. So we have three I guess statements. They're not really letters, but they're pretty much statements from people that I've dated in the past, and we're all going to read one, and I'm going to just give you a little insight on how that relationship went, pretty much. If you have any questions, concerns, please comment on this live video. If you are doing a watch party, again, if you're doing a watch party, we cannot see any of those comments or questions. So if you have a comment or a concern in your watch party, please, please, please put it on this live video so that we can see it. All right, so I think Corinne's gonna read first, right?
Yes, I do have number one.
Okay.
Numero uno. All right. So this is a letter, like she said, from one of her past lovers. I remember when Christina told me of her status, and my heart dropped, but my heart spoke for me, and it didn't matter. I told her right then and there that it was okay. See, I have a very close family member with HIV, and I thought about, what if no one ever wanted to date my family member? What if they just kept getting rejected? That's not the way I was raised, so of course it was okay with me. As long as you get tested every month or so, and we can be careful. What's wrong with being with someone that has HIV? The heart wants what the heart wants, and no matter what, God has already made this plan for you to be with this individual. So love this person, appreciate this person, and be there for this person, no matter what. I was with Christina for about 5 years, and I'm still HIV negative to this day. So you can definitely have a life and love life after HIV. Whatever your religion, trust in God, live your life, and take care of each other.
Wow.
Awesome.
I know, right? I know. When I read it, I was like, oh, like. And again, you know,
And for this person to know, like firsthand, almost like, well, I wouldn't want this for my family member, so I'm not gonna ever, do this to another person.
Yeah, I mean, because this particular person, like they said, I dated him for 5 years. And I can literally tell you the day, not the date, but I can tell you what happened the day I told them.
Okay.
So in my past video, I told you guys that I have made mistakes. I have had intercourse with people without letting them know first. And, it's like a guilt that eats you up inside and you're like, okay, I gotta tell them.
Mm-hmm.
I was always safe, even when I did it. However, that's just something I had to grow out of. I had to let people know ahead of time, and now I let them know sooner. And with this particular person, we had intercourse first before I let them know of my status. And I remember the day like it was yesterday when I actually told them, and I was actually with Nicole, and we were at at a mall somewhere, and I was like, she actually told me, she's like, well, you have to tell me. She asked me, did I tell him? And I said, no. And she's like, you have to. And I'm like, okay, I have to tell him. So I was very emotional because this is back when I cried every single time I told somebody.
Yeah.
So I was boohoo crying, and I actually texted them. And I'm sitting here and I text them and told them I had HIV, told them when I got it, told them I was undetectable, and I had to sit there and wait for a response.
So you two were in the mall?
Yes, we were actually in a parking lot when I was sending the text message. I was like, okay, how does this sound? Does this sound good? Should I add this? Should I take this out? Trying to orchestrate the message. So we did that. I sent the message out, and I'm like sitting in the car, and Nicole's like, okay, come on, let's go. Like, let's go in the mall and do what we want to do. Because I was like, she didn't answer me. She didn't answer me. Please, answer me. Like, they don't want to deal with me anymore. And I'm worrying, and like every store we go into, I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, they didn't answer me back. And I think they finally answered me back like maybe 20, 30 minutes later or something like that.
Like it wasn't even that long.
It wasn't that long, but I was like, it's been a whole week. It's been a whole week they didn't answer me. Like, I was going crazy, and I was like, oh my God, they answered me. And I told Nicole, I'm like, okay, let me read it. I'm like, I think I told you to read it actually, because I was like, I can't read it. Like, probably. And, they just told me that it was okay, and they still wanted to deal with me after I told them my diagnosis. And when I say Waterworks came, honey child, Waterworks came. I mean, I boohoo cried, and I remember after all of that, I think I still went to Nicole's house, and then I went to go see them later, and I didn't know about the close family member at the time.
Okay.
So when they told me, I was like, oh, like, wow, like, and they explained, like, I don't want that for my close family member, so that's why I still want to pursue you, and I also have these feelings for you, so I still want to make this work. You know what I mean? So that was like really, like, I remember just crying.
I'm sure it was like a weight lifted.
It is to have someone accept you. Yeah, absolutely. Like, because you always think that no one's going to accept me for this. That's always the stigma. No one's going to accept me. No one's going to want me. And again, that's why we have those people that go out here and they get HIV, and they're like, I'm going to infect as many people as I can.
You want to go commit a crime.
Right, you want to go commit a crime, but you don't know that people will actually accept you. These only 3 letters. Like, it's been 10 years since I've had this virus. A little over 10 years. And, I've been through my cycles of people accepting it and not accepting it. Okay. And it's just like a regular dating. Like,
everybody's not going to accept you. Everybody gets
rejected.
Everybody
doesn't have to.
So
right.
It is what it
I'm
is.
sure you've been rejected and you don't have anything, and that happens. You could be the suavest thing out there and you still get rejected by somebody.
Yeah.
You never know. So it's like you have to put your first, your foot out there. What is it? Your first foot forward? What is it? Best foot forward. Yeah, you gotta put your best foot forward. And I just want to talk a little bit about that before we get to the next letter, is because I had someone reach out to me that was concerned about dating after diagnosis. And I do want to give this disclaimer. I am not a matchmaker. I have gotten a lot of messages that's like, can you hook me up with someone who has HIV positive? I'm like, I can't help you with that part. I mean, I can assist you on how to tell them, that you have HIV, but I can't assist you with hooking you up with someone who's positive, because honestly, I'm the only person I know that's positive personally in life. I'm the only person I know besides one other friend of mine, but that's it. I don't know anybody else.
Right.
So unless, they're watching this or I see them on my, my channel, that's the only time I know someone else that's HIV positive. So they actually reached out to me and told me that when they tell people that they have HIV, the relationship pretty much ends. Okay. So what I had to do was ask, like, how are you telling them?
I was going to say, what's the delivery? Like,
right.
How are you giving this information?
Exactly. So he was like, he tells them in the beginning, well, not all the way to the beginning, but when he feels that they're ready.
Yeah.
And then he lets them know. So I was like, well, did you make sure you didn't have sexual intercourse with them first? He's like, no. And I'm like, okay. And then you tell them, and then you're like, he pretty much just said, he just tells them that, I'm HIV positive. I'm like, the best approach to telling someone that you are HIV positive is to also educate them.
Yeah.
I always push.
Not just leave them in limbo like
just
that.
Yeah, make sure you're positive. Do you want to deal with me or not? No, you want to put in there, I'm undetectable. I can show you my documents that you can see I'm undetectable.
I can tell you what that means.
Right, I can explain it to you. I can tell you what HIV and AIDS is. Like, take that time to educate someone else, and then it opens their eyes up, and they're like, oh, okay, well, let's, we can read up on this together. Y'all can do the research
Everybody's
together.
not educated on it.
Yeah, so you can talk to them, and it opens them up. Yeah. So, they said they're going to try it, and so let me know how it goes. I mean, I'm sorry that you get rejected, but that's just a part of life. Like,
maybe they want to get it good for you anyway.
Right, exactly.
Like,
should have got weeded out before. Yeah. So that's how you got weeded out. So just, keep trying. Never give up, because people will accept you for it. The next one I have, guys, forgive me, my reading out loud. Okay. All right, so roughly 3 springs ago at this point, Christina and I had become close to the point of intimacy and had been for a while at that point in time. One night after Christina and I had been intimate, Christina simply said to me, I want to tell you something, but I'm not sure if I should, because I don't want you to judge me, or I lose you as a friend first and foremost. I sat in silence, talked with anticipation, and I awaited whatever she had to tell me. The tears began to roll down her face, and I asked her, what's up? What's wrong? She blurted out to me, I'm HIV positive, and if you don't want to mess with me, talk to me, or sleep with me again, I understand. I sat still, and quite probably what seemed like a week as Christina sat and cried even more intensely. She was unaware of my education on HIV because of my mom's work in that particular health field throughout her professional career. Christina then says to me, I'm undetectable. At that point, I put my arms around her, excuse me, and held her close to my chest and told her, I'm not going anywhere. I have no judgment to pass on to you because I'm not your maker. So don't worry me thinking any different of you. Don't worry about me thinking any different of you. I am also very well educated on the subject, so don't worry about me being ignorant on the subject. I love you as a woman, a person, and most importantly as a friend. Christina immediately calmed down and thanked me. I told her then that I was proud of her and I'm proud to be her friend, even in intimacy. And they also said, I'd like to thank the Love the Life You've Been Given organization for allowing me to share my story as a part of her story. May this organization continue to help others in need and educate others that may be lacking such education. God bless. So that was the second one. And that one I remember like it was yesterday too. Like they said, I was crying a lot. This is also someone that I had intercourse with first. We used condom each and every time. And I got to a point where I was like, okay, I gotta tell them. I can't not tell them. I think we had been into maybe a couple of times, maybe 2, if that. And I was like, okay, I have to tell them, but I just don't know what's gonna happen. Also in that situation, we were working together at the time. So it was a battle between letting them know and then also well, if I tell this person, they're going to tell somebody at work.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to get around?
Mm-hmm.
Or is everyone going to look at me different? Because again, everyone's not educated. Because I felt like, you know, people would still treat me like, oh, don't touch that cup. Or if I got a cut at work, they're like, oh no, back up, you know, don't let her touch you, things like that. So that's what kind of held me off from telling that person right away. Because I wasn't sure how. I had to fill them out first.
Right.
This also with this one, I'm going to say it may not have been one of the positive relationships I've had. I also want to let you guys know, like, just because someone accepts you for your status does not mean that that's the person you'd be with.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
This was a toxic relationship that I was in, and not saying that I stayed because they knew my diagnosis. However, it was still a toxic relationship nonetheless.
Right.
But I don't want people to stay in a relationship because someone accepts them. Because if that one person accepts you, then guess what? Someone else will too.
Exactly.
It's not just going to be that one person that's accepting you. So you got to think about, like, you know, someone else will accept you as well, but you also have to know your worth and what, you know, you deserve as a person.
Because after you get through that diagnosis, it's a regular relationship at this point.
Exactly.
It's normal. It's the day to day, everybody,
Day-to-day.
the goods, the bads, the uglies. So it's not always just a
like,
diagnosis.
We talked about at the beginning. We don't talk about HIV every single day.
Right.
You don't even think, even when I take my pills in front of people, people don't even bat an eye. Like, it doesn't even cross their minds that it's for HIV. I can be taking ibuprofen, you know.
Right.
You know, I can be taking whatever, and you don't think about it. So once you get that initial diagnosis out there, you've done your part of letting them know that, you know, this is what you have, getting them aware of what you have, so that you know, legally told them. So, you know, you won't be a felon or anything. I don't know if it's a felony or a misdemeanor, but whatever the case, you're not in the system, right? So you're not charged for telling them, but you don't think about it anymore after that. You guys, you really don't. So it's just that initial, I have HIV. So with that one, like I said, it was a toxic relationship, and I just want you guys to know that there are people out here that's going to accept you and they won't. And even if they do accept you, it does not mean that they're good for you. Just please keep that in mind. And I also told that person that reached out to me too the same thing. I said, make sure that you don't settle because of acceptance.
Yeah.
Make sure that's not what you're settling for. Just because you found, oh wow, I've been, you know, fishing all this time and I got this one fish.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
because he's been looking for so long.
Right.
The
Like,
one person.
don't do that because it could be toxic. It could take you, and if you've been out of your dark place, like I told you guys about the dark place, if you've been out of there and then you get with someone that's like that, it'll put you right back in there. You'll be right back in that dark place again. Once you get out of that dark place, make sure that you know who you are and make sure you're not settling for anything less than what you deserve. Because I mean, what I see consistency in with these letters and with my friends and my family, like, everyone always tells me my worth. Like, the people around you definitely see what you're worth. Even if you don't see it, like, you know, Nicole will tell me all the time, like, you don't deserve that. Like, this person, I can't mention the name, neither one of them, I can't mention the names to them, okay? So they make sure I know my worth and know that I deserve better because of the person that I am. And I love to see that consistency with these letters because each person says that same thing, is that, you know, she's a great person, you know, I'm loving, I'm caring, those things. Like, you have to keep that in and know who you are and know what you're going to accept and not accept. Because, I mean, even if they accept you, it's like, I don't have to accept you.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't accept that diagnosis you have. Because that's toxic. I don't need that in my life.
Absolutely.
You know, I have enough negativity. I don't need to deal with something else. Because, you know, with having, you know, HIV, you get negativity. If you are out there and tell people, you get negativity. And you even see negativity. I saw a post of, oh my God, of, what's his name? Idris Elba, how you say his name?
Oh,
yes. There was a picture of him like spitting something out, and it was like, it was a video, and it said, if a mosquito bit Magic Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
I kind of, I said that's ignorant. Like, straight like that. Like, that's ignorant.
I saw that.
I said, like, that's like, and then, like, and of course, I'm going to take offense to it because I have HIV too. And it may not be directed towards me, but once you put that HIV in that box, it's directed towards me then.
But once that, whoever created the meme, once that meme is made and it goes viral, it puts out the stigma.
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
oh, you're gonna catch it if you touch someone, if you get interacted. Like, no.
It's not.
How long Magic Johnson had HIV? And still has HIV?
Exactly. Yep.
He got a pill now. I know he
Yeah. Yeah, because like that person's family member had it for a long time. So the first letter we wrote, they had it for about as long as my uncle passed, probably. I think it was like 95 or something. They've had it for a long time and have been on their pills, and they're still healthy.
And they will probably still continue to live the rest of their life.
Exactly.
Just like everybody
they're
else.
well on in their 60s, moving, kicking and using a walker. Like, I mean, they're good. The only thing they have is HIV, but they take their medicine when they're supposed to, and they're fine. And like, I just hate to see those negative comments, but I mean, I know they're always gonna come.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm trying to work so hard, and I hope everybody else is working hard to try to lift that stigma up.
And
like,
educate.
Yes, educate. So if you see things like this, why don't you educate them? If you see negativity like that, I mean, even if you don't have it, you can educate somebody else.
Yeah.
Someone else can, know more about it because of you, whether you have it or not. So I would definitely, definitely do that. Okay, have my back. Have my back. You ready to read the last one?
Yes. When I first heard of Christina's status, it kind of worried me. I felt like I shouldn't talk to her or even have any dealings with her on any level, but that was me being dumb and ignorant of her diagnosis. She is really a great person and an even better friend. She doesn't let that change her daily functions or activities. She's one of the bravest people I know. When I think about HIV, I think about her. She takes care of herself, and you wouldn't think that she has it. As I initially stated, I really was scared of her status and didn't want to pursue her, but she educated me and made me educate myself. I then saw that she was safe to be around, safe to engage, and just safe, period. Even though nothing is 100%, my whole outlook on HIV has a new perspective, and I now realize the little things I thought weren't true at all. It was all fictional. So thank you, Christina, for your support and food for thought. The knowledge, the friendship is warranted. I appreciate you so much for that. I'm always here for you. You know who.
He's hilarious, but I'm not saying anyone's name, but that person is just funny. I mean, we are still very, very close. We're very good friends. But I did want to just mention, y'all, you noticed how he said I educated him. Mm-hmm. Like, and he was nervous.
Ignorant to the topic, to everything he thought he knew was false.
Exactly.
It wasn't,
because it's always a myth and a stigma that you're you're up against. But I sat there and I educated him. Like, this is someone I did not have sex with first. I'll put that out there. I did not have sex with this person first. I told him of my status, and we kind of just started to be friends first. We got to feel each other out, get to know each other. Before we took it to that step, I mean, I told him from the beginning, like, if you have questions, ask me. And this is someone that was actually very inquisitive. Like, he asked hundreds of questions, like
that's
all
good.
types of
That's
questions.
Good.
I mean, that intrigued me even more. I'm like, okay, you want to learn? I'm going to teach you. Like I showed him my results. I screenshotted like my doctor's results and stuff like that, so you can see what my numbers are. Because he asked about the CD4 count, and he asked, about. Because he would actually start to educate himself. Yeah. Besides, like, without me, so then he'd text me or something and be like, well, what's this for real? Okay. I saw this online, but what does this mean? And it made me happy that he was actually still intrigued and interested in being with me, that he took the extra step to educate himself. That takes a lot to do. And that also gives you something about me, is that, I had enough in me for him to want to educate himself. Yeah. He was that much intrigued to me that he wanted to educate himself on this virus because he still wanted to pursue me. Because this person, I remember when we first had intercourse, after we got the education piece down,
Right.
and you know, got to know each other and everything, when we first had intercourse, he was still very scared.
Yeah.
So we actually like started to have sex and then we stopped. Literally, I mean, we started to, and he was like, I can't finish, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna pressure you.
Right.
You know, he was like, I can't. My mental is just not right, and you know, it just feels, you know, I just can't get out of my head pretty much. So I wasn't gonna pressure him into having sex with me at that point. I'm like, okay, well, take your time, because you always want to give someone that time to process the information. So, you know, he took his time processing it. I think we like chilled, watch a movie or something, and like after that, and then we kind of just, you know, continue to be friends, and then we got to a point where he was ready to go to the next step, and that's when we got intimate again. But non-related to HIV, we're not together or anything, but we still remain friends. And like he said, like he's always there for me. I can call him anytime for anything, and he'd be right there. Yeah, like,
I mean, that just shows a lot about your character as well. Like these two, 1 and 2, were more so already kind of educated on the topic.
Yeah.
But for someone who just had no idea, was just as ignorant to it as probably the majority of the world is, to want to learn more. Like he took the time because of who you are.
Exactly.
It wasn't just, oh, she got that, it don't matter. I'm going on to the next. I'm leaving. No, you're still a good person. You're still a caring person, a true soul. So he just wanted to know more, and that's really dope.
Yeah, and that's why I tell people to get to know that person first. You know, get to know that person. Also, let them get to know who you are. Because once you open up to a person and they get to know you and they get to want to pursue you, then it's a better outcome for you, because they'll do like this person did and kind of not really look past it, but you know, I guess can't do the word I want to say, but they want to educate themselves, and they want you to educate them, and they want to know more, and they want to pursue you as much as they can, even if they're just offering friendship at that point. I would definitely, don't get mad if someone offers you friendship, you know, because you never know what can happen. They may be offering you friendship because they want to learn more about you and learn, you know, more about the virus and see if they want to go further. But you have to give them that option.
And they still have to process it. Everybody processes stuff different, so
in their own time.
You can't pressure someone to deal with something that you would. So
Because like I said last time, I mean, at this point, if you know, I met someone that was HIV positive, I would pursue them. You know, if that's how I felt about that person. But if you would have asked me when I was 18, before I had the virus, I don't know what my answer would have been. I really don't, because again, with my uncle dying from AIDS, I was terrified. I mean, petrified of anything, you know, with that. Like, I was like, I can't do it. I won't do it. No, ma'am, I can't. So now, knowing so much about it, you know, it takes a lot, but you can pursue someone. You can have a healthy relationship. You know, you can have a healthy friendship. You can do all these things, because some people may not accept you does not mean that no one will accept you. So you definitely want to just try your hand out there and see what catches, pretty much. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Plenty. Just because you get 4 no's does not mean you'll get 6 yeses. You know, I mean, you never know how it's going to work. So you're pretty much taking a gamble, and you have to see what people are feeling and how they will go along with it. If you lose some, you lose some. And that happens.
Anyway.
And that happens with anybody. You know, you lose some, you lose some. You have to learn how to get over it. You have to learn how to move on. You know, you get depressed, you've got to learn how to get out of that depression. Make sure you guys are seeing your therapist. Talk to people. Don't bottle it up inside. You got to talk to people and let them know what you're feeling, what you're going through. If something like this happens to you where you're dating someone and they are like, oh no, I don't want to do this with you because you have HIV, I would definitely, you know, go see someone about that. Let them go. Don't try to force them. Don't try to trap them. Don't try to do any of those things. Let them go. Let them go. If it's meant to be, it'll come back to you maybe. But let them go, and if you are down and out about it, see somebody about it. Talk to somebody about it. Talk to me. You can inbox me. You can email me. I will talk to you about it. So that was definitely dope. I loved these letters. They were great.
They were. I was going to ask you too, about I think you said earlier about individuals, the matchmaking thing, like how to, can you introduce me to someone who's also positive? You don't have to look for someone who is positive. You don't, not at all. Like, you can find someone who's negative and educate them on the topic. If it's just not meant to be, it's just not meant to be, and it was going to be that way anyway, negative or positive. But
they probably think it's easier.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing. I think
it's
that it is.
Easier. Like, let me just deal with someone who's like me.
Yeah, you know what I got. I know what you got. We ain't got to go through this. But I mean, like you said, you just shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Pretty much shoot your shot with that. Because I've actually, like, I've told people that too, because a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people ask me about finding someone positive for them, and I tell them, well, why can't you find someone negative? It's
and then, you know what? They're probably
these 3 letters are
they're probably scared of giving it to them too. That's
Yeah.
probably why
That's
they
true.
don't want to give it to a negative person, even though you can be undetectable. But then you say you can go back down. Sometimes
Like if you don't
it depends on, like, if you don't take your medicine or any health complications, things like that. But as long as you are healthy and you know you're being safe, you should have nothing to worry about.
Right.
Like,
you know, people just think what they think.
Yeah, because I mean, there's still a stigma within the stigma. Like, even the people who are positive still, if they're thinking that, I can give this person this, they're still thinking that's not the stigma, and you have the virus.
They may be in their dark place still. They may be, or it may be a fresh diagnosis and they haven't gotten to the undetectable point yet, or so maybe they just need to take that time to themselves.
I really think they do, especially at that time, because it takes more than a couple months to actually get undetectable.
Right.
So I mean, take that time for yourself and deal with yourself. That's definitely what I tell people if they are freshly diagnosed. Like, you have to take time to feel who you are and see who you are and learn who you are, no matter what age you are, because that can take you out of your entire element. Can take you out of your character. Even if you knew yourself before you get HIV, you have lost who you are.
Your whole self. Take that first 6 months, take a year, take however long you need to get yourself together, and then you'll probably be more comfortable in searching for someone.
Right. Because once you're comfortable with yourself, you can be more comfortable with talking to other people.
Right.
So that's definitely something I recommend a lot, is that you have to take that time for yourself. Like, don't worry about dating someone else. Take care of you. Take care of Corinne, take care of Nicole, take care of Christina, take care of who you are, and then you can go out and pursue someone. That's even for people who don't have HIV.
Exactly.
I mean,
everybody.
That's why, like, relationships are how they are, because people aren't taking care of themselves first. You can't, love somebody or be in a relationship with someone when you don't love yourself, because how are they supposed to love you?
Yeah, you can't give it.
You can't tell them how to love you if you don't know how to love yourself. How does that work? You have no direction of how to love yourself. You can't say, I like to be loved this way, if you don't know how to love yourself that way. So you got to definitely take time for yourself. Everyone's so gung-ho on being in a relationship. It's always the standard of, I gotta get married, I gotta get married this fast, and they have this whole time clock together. And I'm one of those people, I've had a time clock too. I'm a little past 25, I'm supposed to have kids and be married now. So, it like, your road is never going to be straight how you want it to be straight.
I think we all had some sort of time clock, because those questions come up in school. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Right.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? So it kind of puts that in your brain already, like, I need to do this and do that. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I actually saw there's a facial essence. It's called SK2. They have a campaign about, like, the change, I guess, on how millennials and we kind of run our lives versus what our parents did.
Right.
And they had people from different ethnic backgrounds and everything. It was one girl, I believe, from the US. It was only like 4 or 5 minute videos. It was one girl from the US. The others were from Tokyo, Seoul, and I believe another country in Asia. Asian country. And it was overall, it was I wanted my child to, you know, have kids, be married.
Right.
But a lot of them were just free spirits. They maybe not have even been 30, but with the Asian cultures, they have like a strict, like they are like, you're worthless as a woman if you're not married by 25 or 30, or you're like unused goods. You're too late. You're not worth anything anymore. And that's just their culture.
Right.
And these 3 ladies, they were just like, that's not my life. I'm not. So they were, I guess, just more free spirited. Just look mom, look grandma, look dad. This is the road I'm going on. This is how I want to be happy. They had to kind of educate them on how they, and then the one from New York as well. Her mom, I think, was just kind of trying to live vicariously through her. Maybe things she didn't get to do and things like that. Yeah. But yeah.
Because they say you always want your child to be better than you.
Yeah.
That's always something to say. And like, absolutely. I'm not telling anybody, please, you know, don't let me deter you away from your goals. Always set goals. But it's like, I'm talking about like the line. It's like, you know, following this line. This is how it's going to go. It's not going to be a line. Like, there are going to be bumps in the road. You may get to that goal, but you're going to have to go through an obstacle to get there. And, you know, you can't just think that you're going to get there and it's going to be breezy, because you never know what could happen. I mean,
there may be a whole other plan in store for you.
Absolutely.
And when you keep going on your path, you'll just keep getting knocked off until you realize that's not the path you're supposed to be on.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe try something else.
Right. You know, try something else, or try to stick to it. Like, Azaria, hey girl.
I think people, basically what Nicole was saying, I think people that are looking to date the same status person just puts them at ease mentally. It's just easier.
It's just easy. It's just an easy road to take. It's like, okay, well, I'm positive, you're positive. All right, we're good. You know, you don't have to
worry about. Right. I don't have to tell
regularly dating.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, and there. I also like refer people to. It's not that many, but there are dating apps for people with STDs. Like, I saw a couple of them. Like, most of them have all types of STDs in there. Like, I mean, like they had herpes and syphilis and stuff like that all in there, and you can date someone that has the same STD as you. If that's what you personally want to do, by all means, you can do it. They also have Facebook groups for people with HIV. So, I mean, if you go to groups on Facebook, you can type in HIV and it'll show you whatever Facebook groups are out there with that in the title. So you can definitely find someone. But then again, I'm like,
don't limit yourself.
Right, like that's what I'm saying. Like, don't limit yourself to that.
But you have to only date people with HIV.
Right. And you're putting yourself in that box. No one's putting you in that box.
Nobody puts you in there with you.
You put yourself in that, and you know, who knows? You could be passing up, you know, if you believe in it, you could be passing up your soulmate. Because you're looking for someone that's positive, but your soulmate is negative and she's ready to accept you, or he's ready to accept you. But they just wait on you to come back. And you're not coming back because you put yourself in this box saying, oh, nope, I can't go out this box.
They got to deal with
John
Blow.
Exactly, you know? Exactly, because you put yourself in that box. Like, definitely, you guys don't have to think that way. There's plenty of people who accept you. And, you know, I did want to just put this out there as well. I'm openly bisexual female. So, you know, I date men and women. I didn't disclose who any of these people were. So I date men and women, and I've had different results from different people. So, like, it's not really a stigma of, oh, I have to date that person and date that person in that box. Like, don't put yourself in those boxes. Because trust me, it's been plenty of women I told and plenty of men I told and got rejected by some. Some accepted me. And even if they accepted me and I didn't work out with them, I'm okay with that. Because, you know,
it was just an experience.
Right. It was an experience.
It didn't work out.
Absolutely. So I also wanted to say, like, I talked to a few other people, like, about these letters. I didn't get as many letters back as I wanted, but I am thankful for the people who did write me letters, and I appreciate all of you for taking the time out to share your story. And like you guys mentioned, mostly in the letters mentioned, you know, you guys are doing this to help the organization, to help other people. Like, that's amazing. I'm very grateful for that, because these people need to hear that there are people out here that will accept them for who they are, no matter what. So it's just amazing that you guys took the time out of your daily activities to even just write in And like I said, these are people that are all exes. Like, they didn't have to talk to me. They didn't have to write me back.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to say how we all ended, but, you know, like, they could have been really rocky, and they still took the time to write their experience to benefit of the business, to benefit other people, so that they can see that there are people out here who will accept you for who you are.
Yeah.
So I think that's amazing. I don't think we had any questions, did we? Didn't see any questions. No questions.
I saw a lot of people joining once we started talking, but
Yeah.
You're excited.
That's my field.
Alright guys, so this will conclude our episode of Dating Part 2 with our past lovers' experiences. Our next week's episode will be about health. Okay guys, this is going to be educating you on HIV and AIDS and the awareness about it, giving you the exact information that you guys need. We're also going to have another episode about mental health. We'll have special guests there that are certified in these fields that can assist you and give you information on the actual virus itself, as well as what health precautions you should take and information of that nature. So I definitely want you guys to tune in next week at 6 p.m. as always. We thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. And as always, love the life you've been given. Bye guys.
Bye.